Hello, this is going to be the team builder for our week 2 game against sorry if I pronounce this wrong, Medellín Milcery. I think that's how you say it. I don't really know. This team is coached by Paprika, who I'm pretty sure is an admin and is running the Univa flight this season, I think. It might be Sinnoh, but I'm pretty sure it's Univa. Their team is very scary. I feel like I'm probably going to end up saying this about a lot of teams, but I just don't have defensive checks to a lot of the mons here because my team just doesn't really have defensive Pokemon. The closest thing I have is probably like Klefki, Rotom Heat. Yeah, not the best. But their team consists of Mega Lopunny, Landorus Therian, Raging Bolt, Terra Ferrothorn, Pecharunt, Cobalion, Starmie, Terra Comfey, Shuckle, and Glaceon. This matchup is tough because there's a Mega Lopunny which outspeeds my whole team, and I don't have a check to. I mean, it's kind of difficult to get good checks to Mega Lopunny. The best I have is probably like a Terrestrialized Cloyster, but I couldn't really fit it on the team, so I don't really have a check to it. But the biggest threat to my team is probably Lando, because my ground switch-ins are Levani and Rotom Heat, both of which get absolutely blown up by its rock coverage. And Lando has a really high attack stat, and since it's a flying type, it's not affected by webs from Levani either. It's very difficult for me to deal with. I kind of just have to scout out what it is very early on into the game. But I've been able to deal with most sets so far. I think it'll be fine. The second biggest threat to my team is Comfey. Choice specs, Terra Fairy Draining Kiss does so much damage, and since I didn't bring two of my, fairy resists, both of which can lose to Carmine Comfey anyway, by the way. I should add that, Specs Comfey beats different things to Carmine Comfey. Specs Comfey destroys all of semblance of setup sweeping that I can do, because it's super effective on Greninja and Kyurem and Annihilate. So, Battle Bond Greninja isn't going to work, Dragon Dance Kyurem isn't going to work, and Cloyster's special defense is so low that it will probably just die if it's taken any prior chip. So, it kind of sucks. The Comfey is really, really annoying at stopping my offense, and it's also kind of hard for my team to switch into, especially since I didn't bring Comfey and Rotom Heat. Anyway, I should probably start talking about what I'm bringing now. Actually, no. The 6 that I'm expecting are Starmie, Raging Bolt, Ferrothorn, Comfey, Landorus Therian, and Mega Lopunny. Although I would understand if Glaceon came, because my team does not switch into Freeze Dry very well at all. It would make sense as well for... Actually, no, that's the main one. I really don't see Cobalion, Pecharunt, or the Shuckle coming. I will be pretty surprised if I see any of them. So now I want to talk not too much about most of my Pokemon, because I spent way too much time thinking about the Levani set, and I've thought out in the first few turns for every single possible lead matchup for the Levani, which I'll probably spend way too much time talking about. So let's just try and quickly get through everything else. First is Greninja. Greninja just hits hard into this team. We have U-turn for pivoting. HP Fire is to 2-hit KO Ferrothorn, or after some chip, it actually 1-hit KOs it. Water Shuriken is to help me against a Rock Polish or Scarf. Lando T that gets out of hand, and Extra Sensory lets me hit the Mega Lopunny for an Oko and 2-hit KO Pecharunt. Annihilate is... Oh, right, yeah, and then Greninja's just max special attack, enough speed to outrun Starmie, I think, and the rest in HP. Ape is just a Scarf set, ghost type damage looks insane here. Their only resist is Mega Lopunny, which of course gets absolutely blown up by our close combat. We have enough speed so that with the Choice Scarf, we are faster than Mega Lopunny. And so we outrun their whole team unboosted, although I am expecting some kind of boosting. And of course, Comfey is priority Draining Kiss. We then have enough HP so that our final Gambit will always OHKO their entire team except for Raging Bolt and Pecharunt if we're at full HP. So the 104 HP EVs give us exactly 1 more HP than max HP Cobalion, which is their highest HP Pokemon outside of Raging Bolt. So if we're at full HP, then we get Chip on Raging Bolt, I can make the decision to just go for Final Gambit and trade Annihilate for any one of their Pokemon, which like they have a lot of threats into me. So that could be good. It could also be bad. I probably won't do it. I haven't really done it in many mocks, but it's an option. Then I have Rage Fist because Rage Fist in close combat are stabs. The idea behind this ape is like either I want to Final Gambit early to take out an important piece, or I take out either Pecharunt or Mega Lopunny. If I take out Mega Lopunny, I just spam Rage Fist the whole game. They have no resist. And if I take out Pecharunt, I just spam close combat the whole game because they don't have anything good to switch into CC. Like, they have resists, but Lando triggers Defiant, which means it takes like 40. Starmie also takes like 40 because it's just frail. And Comfey also takes like 40. But Comfey can heal back up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And U-turn just lets us pivot. Yeah. It's a good move. Then we have this weird Gardevoir set, which has enough speed to outrun no speed Lando, which is not really something that I expect to come, but if it does, it will be very helpful to be faster than it, because Lando is really good at revenge killing this Gardevoir. We have Carmine, Draining Kiss, Psychic Noise, and Focus Blast. The idea is this is meant to beat Carmine Comfey, because Psychic Noise stops Comfey from going for Draining Kiss. So it will have to go for Carmine or Stored Power, and then we can heal back the damage it does with our own Draining Kiss. And we have enough defense so that with the Chelan Berry, a Mega Lopunny Fake Out into return with the Chelan Berry halving the Fake Out will never OHKO us. We will always live. Initially I had 4 less defense because I was just max special attack and the rest in defense. But then I realized that, I could get that to happen if I put on 1 more defense. I don't actually know if the Mega Lopunny will be carrying Fake Out because, clicking Fake Out with Scrappy into a team with Annihilate is probably quite scary. I personally wouldn't do it, but in mocks everyone's brought Fake Out on Lopunny, so it's a thing. Yeah. Also in a mock, the only time I had this interaction come up, the Fake Out crit, and so my Gardevoir just died, which is kind of funny. Anyway, Focus Blast lets us hit Cobalion and Ferrothorn. It should just nuke an offensive Cobalion from full. At +1, Fizz Def Ferro goes down to a Focus Blast, so that's really cool. Draining Kiss is there so that once we have Carmines up, we can get our health back. And also because if we come in on a Comfey, we'll trace Triage, and then we have priority Draining Kiss, and we can clean up a team that way. And Psynoise is just really good offensively here. The resists are Starmie, which we can Carmine in front of, and Ferrothorn. But stopping Ferrothorn from getting leftovers healing or being able to click Leech Seed is actually really helpful. The Chelan Berry is mainly because the only Pokemon that we will be slower than with Sticky Web up are the Mega Lopunny, because it takes too much speed. We won't be bulky enough to outspeed the Mega Lopunny under webs. And Lando, well, I guess also like Boots or Scarf on the Starmie and Cobalion would also make them faster, but I'm not expecting either of those in terms of those items. Actually, Starmie might be Boots, I wouldn't be surprised. But the reason the Chelan Berry is there is because Gardevoir, even with the defense investment, takes a ton of damage from return. It does like 70 to 80% or something like that. But with the Berry, it'll halve that, and then we can heal it all back up with Draining Kiss, and that's very good. Grafai is meant to be our Comfey check. For Specs Comfey, it doesn't really check. It kind of checks Carmine Comfey. Yeah, we have enough attack to always Oko the Comfey, max HP Comfey with no defense investment with Gunk Shot, and then with max HP, the rest in special defense. Our moves are just Gunk Shot, Knockoff, Parting Shot, Encore. Left uses for healing so that we can switch into the Comfey more times. Parting Shot lets us pivot around. Encore lets us lock Comfey into Carmine if it is a Carmine Terra Blast set. And Knockoff is just to be annoying, remove items and stuff. It's a pretty good neutral click. The only issue is if my opponent has, like, I don't know, Keyberry Cobalion, and it switches into a knockoff, gets the defense boost and the attack boost, and then like randomly beats my whole team for some reason. I don't think Keyberry Cobalion's coming. I'll just put that one out there. And finally, Kyurem. Yeah, this is... no brain cells went into this. I was like, haha, Specs Ice Beam look good. Yeah, Specs Ice Beam two-shots the entire team except Cobalion and a defensive Starmie. And Spadef Pharaoh can live too. That's the idea behind it. Earth Power can nuke Cobalion. Freeze Dry is there to beat defensive Starmie without having to lower my special attack with Draco, and to also kill Terra Water Ferrothorn, which I think Ferro's probably going to be Terra Fairy. I think. Maybe. I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't actually mocked against many Pharaohs, and by many I mean any at all. Maybe I should do that. Oh well, I probably won't. And Draco is just a nuke into anything not named Cobalion or Ferrothorn. It's also my only move which Oko's Assault Vest Raging Bolt. Because, I don't know, Bolt's just broken with an EV. It lives Specs Kyurem Ice Beam, which is kind of insane. Bolt's really bulky. Anyway, finally, Lavani. This will probably be half of the team builder, but Lavani is our dedicated lead this week, hence why I thought through every lead matchup for it. The EV spread is reasonably simple. We have enough speed to outspeed max speed Landorus Therian, and we have enough attack to Oko a Lando, which has enough speed to outrun Ape, and then max attack and the rest in defense. That's just 8 defense EVs. With Triple Axle after Intimidate procs, which also conveniently does just over half to a Raging Bolt before Intimidate procs, because Bolt doesn't have Intimidate, which means that the first 2 hits of Axle will break a max HP Raging Bolt substitute, and then the third one will do real damage, which is good. Unless it has more defense investment, in which case that just won't be true. But yeah, that's really cool. And the rest I put into HP because I don't need any more damage than to kill the Lando. And I guess the 2 Killing Bolt is also pretty cool. The 56 HP EVs actually did a few useful things. The 2 which I think might actually come into play is 1, we never get to it KO'd by max attack Jolly Cobalion Ironhead. So if I lead into Cobalion, I'm going to click Magic Coat turn 1. I'll just say that. I'll get into it later. But if they're just like Scarf or something, or they just decide to spam Ironhead, then assuming the second one doesn't flinch me, then I can still get up my webs, even with that misplay. And the other thing it does is max attack Megalop. No, that's the wrong Pokemon. Max attack Lando T U-turn into the Thunderclap from max special attack Modest Raging Bolt. I have a pretty good chance to live. It's not guaranteed, but I'm like almost guaranteed to die with no HP investment, because U-turn from Lando does, I think it was like 60 to 75 or something. Maybe it was like 65 to 75. And the Thunderclap from Bolt is like 25 to 30. So I've estimated that I should live in around like 1/3 to half-ish of those interactions. I wasn't bothered to actually do the maths. But we should always live Megalop U-turn into Raging Bolt Thunderclap, unless it's Adamant Lopunny, in which case we won't. It's pretty cool. There are also some other funny ranges which we live, like Life Orb, Starmie, Ice Beam. Life Orb, Timid, Starmie, Ice Beam. Never Okos us from full, which doesn't really matter because we have a Focus Sash, but it's funny. We also never die to Specs, Modest, Terra Fairy, Dazzling Gleam from Comfey from full. Both of those do maximum 99.6. Pretty cool. Doesn't matter because we're Sash, but it's pretty cool to think about how much those 56 HP EVs actually helped us out. Anyway, our moves are Sticky Web, Axle, Triple Axle, Magic Coat, and Toxic. The entire job of Levani is just get up webs, because with webs up, everything not named Landorus Therian becomes slower than my offensive threats, except Gardevoir, which is, I don't know, the Guardy set's kind of weird. Which means that basically the idea is I get up webs and then I get in Greninja and Kyurem and I just start clicking attacks and start doing damage is the plan. The reason that my other three moves are Axle, Magic Coat, and Toxic was because I knew I wanted webs, but I didn't know what else I wanted. So I just scoured through Levani's entire move pool to find three moves which would be helpful. I landed on Axle to kill Lando, which is the biggest threat into my team. Magic Coat to stop opposing spikes and rocks going up because I brought no hazard control this week. And Toxic, because then I can just do damage over time. But I thought of what I'm going to do in every lead, and I'm going to say them now just so that I remember. So into Mega Lopunny. Megalop is probably one of the worst leads for me because it can just deny Sticky Web with either Fake Out into Return, Fake Out into U-turn, or just raw Triple Axle, just killing Levani through the Sash and I don't get webs up. However, all three of these are good outcomes if I switch into Annihilate, because Fake Out will do 20% to 25%, and it gives me a Rage Fist stack. U-turn does 7% and gives me a Rage Fist stack. And what was the other thing? Triple Axle will do 40 to 50, but it gives me 3 Rage Fist stacks, which is really good because 3 Rage Fist stacks means it's 200 base power, which means I Oko offensive Lando T from full without it triggering Defiant, and I also Oko a Pecharunt that is speed creeping, no speed Annihilate, with the rest in HP, with max HP being the rest in defense and plus defense nature from full with Rage Fist. Of course, this is kind of bad because it means I don't get up my my webs, which is a bit of an issue because it means the Lopunny can kind of run over my team, and I need to find a way to get Levani in later in the game. But it's kind of fine because Ape can just go ham, especially if they click Axle. From there, turn 2, I always click Close Combat because if they don't respect Scarf Ape, then I just take out the Mega Lopunny and I can just click Rage Fist for the rest of the game. And I win. Especially if they don't bring Pecharunt. If they bring Pecharunt, I'll probably consider going for U-turn, but if they don't, I'm always just close combating, because it chunks everything really hard, because it'll do 4... the thing which will take the least damage is probably Fizz Def, Starmie, which won't take too much, but from there I can just go into Greninja kind of safely, and then click U-turn. If I lead into Lando, I spent a lot of time deliberating over whether I should go for Magic Coat to bounce back rocks, because I don't want rocks to go up, but I decided that because Lando is such a big threat to my team, I need to identify whether it's Scarf or not, so I'm just clicking Sticky Web. If it's faster than me, then it's Scarf, and if it's not faster than me, then it's not Scarf. On turn 2, there are multiple things that could happen. If they're faster and go for U-turn, if they go for U-turn, then I just deal with whatever's in front of me. If they don't go for U-turn, then if they go for Rock Polish, I just kill them with Triple Axle. If they go for Sword Stance, I just kill them with Triple Axle. If they go for an attacking move, I kill them with Triple Axle. if they go for defog, I kill them with triple axle. And if they go for defog, actually, I go for magic coat. I lied, because if they defog, then they're probably more defensive and they might want to get up rocks. And if I knock back the defog, then I can guarantee that I land all 3 hits of triple axle. And if they're faster and they don't click U-turn, then they're scarf, then like if they click a rock move, then I just go into annihilate for a free rage fist stack. If they click stealth rock, then I just click toxic as they switch into something. Who knows what. It's good to get toxic off on stuff. Yeah, that's the idea. I probably can't remember all the things, but in the game I'll just do it if it happens. If I lead into Raging Bolt turn 1, I always go for Toxic to cover for Substitute Raging Bolt and to get more damage over time if it's Carmine, because we are Sash, so we will always live a Draco. The only multi-hit move this thing gets, to my knowledge, is Double Kick, which is definitely not going to Oko a Lavani from full. Turn 2, I always go for Webs. Since Webs isn't an attacking move, they can't kill me before I do it using Thunderclap, unless they're Scarf Raging Bolt, in which case I'll know because they'll be faster than me when I click Toxic. And from then on, if I don't die, I just spam triple axle. Because if they like try and Carmine up, then triple axle will do like 50 and will put them in range of a lot of stuff, especially after the poison chip. Like it'll put them in range of annihilate close combat, put them in range of basically all of Kiram's moves, stuff like that. Just good stuff. Against Ferrothorn, turn 1, I go for Magic Coat. I bounce back spikes or rocks or T-Wave or something. They get terrified of the Magic Coat. Turn 2, they go for an attacking move. As they do that, I set up my webs. That is, it might not work. I hope it does. That's my idea for basically all of the hazard setting things that I could lead into. And then I just spam Magic Coat until I die to try and deny Stealth Rock and potentially bounce back more spikes. It's pretty simple. Petarant is the only other lead matchup where I just switch out. And I just go hard into Grafai. This is a terrible lead matchup because I take unnecessary damage on Graph if it goes for Malignant Chain. If it goes for like any status move, I just react accordingly. If a parting shot's out, then I just parting shot whatever comes in. If it goes for Nasty Plot or Shadow Ball or any ghost move, really, I just encore it. But if it goes for Malignant Chain, then that's bad because then I have to take damage on the Grafai, which is not good because it really opens up a potential Comfey endgame for my opponent. Because Specs Comfey, if once Grafai has been chipped, Specs Comfey just beats my whole team. And that's not really anything I can do. I guess I could bring Rotom or Cleffy, but I didn't. Yeah. Actually, if I lead into Petron, I might just click Webs turn 1. I don't know. I'll see in the actual game. But I don't think it's ever going to happen because Petron isn't a Pokemon that you lead. Like, why would you lead a Petron? Because if you just lead into a special attacker, then it's over. You're screwed. You may as well just lose the game right then and there. Anyway, yeah, I don't think lead Petron will happen, but it's kind of the scariest lead. Cobalion, turn 1, I just click Magic Coat, bounce back T-Wave or Rocks, use the second turn of Confusion to get up my Sticky Web, as they are too scared to click a status move, and then I spam Magic Coat until Lavani dies. This is a common theme, really, for all the mons which get Stealth Rock, except for Lando. It's great. Against Starmie, turn 1, I go for Webs. If it's offensive Starmie, it will be faster than me, which means it can't instantly spin away the webs. I will take a big hit, but I will get up my webs. If it's slower than me and goes for rapid spin turn 1, then I'm kind of screwed and I don't know what to do. However, that's a lie. Anyway, if it ends up being faster than me, then turn 2, I switch into Annihilate, hopefully on a rapid spin. If it is a rapid spin, then I go for U-turn and I bring in Greninja, hopefully on a Psychic. And then I just click U-turn, unless I die to like crit Thunderbolt or something. If on turn 2 when I switch in Annihilate, it actually goes for Psychic, assuming I survive the psychic, because if it's analytic life orb, then some rolls will kill my ape. Then I just go for Rage Fist and kill the Stormy. Hooray. If it's slower than me, um, if it doesn't go for Rapid Spin turn 1, the plan is the same. I still go into Ape, and then I do those same things. But if it does go for Spin turn 1, I still just go into Ape. Because on turn 2, it's not going to go for Spin, because after the spin, it'll be faster, and so the second spin's useless because it doesn't get rid of the webs. So they'll probably go for Ice Beam or Psychic, but if it's defensive, I will live the Psychic easily with Annihilate, and then I just kill it with Rage Fist. Yeah, unless it's Cassib Berry, in which case I feel sad and probably lose the game. If I lead into Comfey, I just instantly go into Grafai. I'm not messing with the thing, and then I just click Gunk Shot. Unless it clicks Calm Mind, in which case I click Encore. And then I just Parting Shot on whatever comes out next once I hit it with Gunk Shot. Oh, I just knocked my bin over with my foot. I'm gonna pick that up. I don't even know what you can and can't hear that goes on here. So yeah, anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. If I lead into Shuckle, I click Magic Coat, turn 1, then turn 2 I click Toxic. If I bounce back webs, I always click Toxic. If I bounce back rocks, I probably still click Toxic, but I might click webs. I'll see in the actual game how I feel. And then I spam Magic Coat until either I die, they switch. Yeah, until I die or they switch. And then from there, I do whatever I feel like. And if I lead into Glaceon, same thing as Raging Bolt, turn 1, click Toxic in case it's sub Carmine, because I want to be able to shut down like Carmine Wish Tech Glaceon. And then turn 2, I just get up my webs, and then I spam Triple Axle until I die. So that's the team, and way too much time spent talking about lead matchups with the Levani. Do I feel confident? Kind of. Like, Lando hasn't been a massive issue in the mocks I've played, even though I know it. Well, it has been a massive issue, but I've been able to deal with it. And in those mocks, I didn't even have Water Shuriken on Greninja. So I hope it'll go fine. I'm very worried about Comfey. The Comfey kind of just never came out when I played it. When I feel like every single time I got a kill with Kyurem, Annihilate, or Greninja, it could have just come out and started clicking. And I feel like if that happens, then I might just lose to it, like genuinely. But if it's not Specs, then I feel much safer because I can beat Carmine pretty easily with Gardevoir and Grafaiai. But Specs I like only beat with Grafaiai, and it really wears on Grafaiai after a while. Yeah, I'm very worried about Comfey and Lando. The rest of the team I'm not too worried about. I feel like so long as I get up webs, then the Lopunny is manageable. Other than that, everything's manageable. I just don't really care about the rest of the... I don't think it's... Yeah, I think I'll be fine. Anyway, that's the team builder. I should probably be in the battle in about like 5 seconds or less, so see you then. Well, not 5 seconds or less for me, but like in the video. It's gonna happen in 3, 2, 1 now. Alright, it's week 1. There's no Raging Bolt, which is kind of surprising, and there is a Petron, which is really annoying. Didn't expect that. But let's just do this. Okay. Let's always go Ape here. Fake out. Big. Oh my god, that crit. Okay, I'm just gonna close combat because how much health do I have? 245. Yeah. That crit's kind of annoying. But Rage Fist is boosted. So. That's cool. Yeah, they just... Why? This... Okay. Just go out into... It's Terra Dark Comfey. And Terra Fight. guy. It's fighting Pharaoh. I don't really know what it's for, but I'm clicking magic code. Fuck, that's not good. Okay, well done. Actually, I can't stack graph. I have to go into Guardy. Click body press, click body press, click body press. Okay, cool. I got the call right. Speaking of which, the knockoff damage into this. With an item. Just, how much did knock do? Knock did 19. That means it's probably Spidef? I would assume it's Spidef. What's the... It's careful? Yeah. It looks like it. I think I have to just go leave Annie here. Earthquake does 17. That's defensive damage. Unless, wait, let me find a choice scarf set. Okay, it could also just be mineral. And I just Axel here. As Pharaoh comes in, yep. That does 0. Oh my god. But it does like enough 0. I'm just gonna go graph, because I assume the last move is a steal move, right? If graph has to eat a body press here, that's very bad. However, if it goes for iron defense, then that's really good. Well, that's terrible. I think I just parting shot here. Although it is Terra Dark Comfey, so I'm expecting it not to be specs. It could still be specs. Actually, I just go into Ape here. Okay, they just body press. Apparently I can die to Rage Fist from here. I do think that they're going to switch. Like, yeah, okay. Let's see how much this does. I can gauge the spread. Oh my god. Let's go back out into graph. That looks like less offensive. I just parting shot here into Kira. If I get poisoned, then that's pretty bad. I assume they'll just parting shot though. Okay, they recover. I'm just gonna click Ice Beam. If I don't get confused, then... I mean, if it doesn't confuse me, then I think I'm fine. Okay, well that's terrible. Let's go out into Greninja. Maybe I should have clicked Raker. Starmie comes in. I always just U-turn here into Ape. It's kind of fine if Ape goes down. Yeah, I just go and click Ice Beam, hey. Because maybe Starmie can switch in, but... This poison is annoying because it means that I can't just spam Ice Beam for the entire game. because I will get 2 chip down. Oh, okay. I have to go out its graph here. If they Terradog, Terrablast is pretty bad, I think. I feel like they might just Calm Mind though. Please Calm Mind. Okay, they Taunt. That's... I didn't even know Comfey learns Taunt, bro. I think I just knock, right? If they go Lopunny, this is pretty bad. Maybe it's defensive Comfey, because it is Taunt. Okay, they do go Lop. That's pretty terrible. I think I just sack Levani now. To get in Kyurem. Oh, this isn't in range. Okay, well I lied. Yep. Let Levani go down. I actually get in Greninja. And just go straight for extra sensory. They don't really switch into it very well. Everything will take a decent chunk. Yeah, okay, they sack off Petarant, so now I can just freely CC with Ape. Freely into the 3 Pokemon that resist fighting. Yeah, they're very, very free, as you can see. I just U-turn here. I want to deny spin at all costs, so I'm willing to sack Ape. Oh my god, it's Meteor Beam. But it missed, so I'm just gonna U-turn here. What's the... If it was offensive, did that kill? No. I kind of want to... Actually, no, it doesn't matter, cause, and just got into Gaudy. I don't really... Okay. I don't switch into this, I kind of just have to go for the Sinois. 48. Yeah, okay, that is fairly offensive. I still don't know if it's Scarf or not. But do I kill? I kill if I get 3 hits with Water Shuriken. Oh, I live EQ? Oh, okay. I just got into this. Click the Rage Fist button. Okay, so they're not Scarf. Now they know I am Scarf. I just click Rage Fist again. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think I just got into Gren. No, I don't go Gren. I go Kyurem. Yeah, I sack Kyurem. How do I not lose to Comfey? Because if they return, then Kyurem does live. And I can just click Ice Beam. They should never do that though. Oh my god, they didn't CC. Oh, I die. They are adamant. No, they're not. Wait, are they? No, I'm just stupid. Okay. Go into this guy. I extra sensory. They sack off Lando. I do think I just lose to Comfey now, unfortunately, unless I can beat it into becoming a doctor. Wait, no, because then it's prio anyway. Okay. I have to hope it's not super offensive. And just go for the gunk shot. Oh, that's a good poison. That's a really, really good poison. Alright, Grafire, just land your gunk shot, please. Grafire, just land gunk shot. Just land the gunk shot. Oh, okay, that did 0. Yeah, that's very, very fat, Comfey. Okay, I think it was... Yeah, that did nothing. A parting shot into Greninja. Yippee. Because if they go for a normal move, then I live. And I get a kill. Save 1 differential. If it just went for CC, then I wouldn't have, but it worked, so GG. That was a tough game. I didn't really know what to do in the mid game there. Could have done more mocks, but I think it went out well. I will, yeah, I think that was good. I might have another section after this. If I do, see you then. If I don't, then see you next week, I guess. Yes, I know. Kind of strange. Third segment after the battle. It's weird. Normally don't do this. But my opponent this week, Paprika, was kind enough to give me their notes on the matchup, and I thought it would just be interesting to look through them and talk about how they compare to what I thought about it. They also gave me their Pokepaste of their team, which is interesting. But let's just start reading this. I also have the replay here so that in case I see something which I feel like kind of happened in game, I can look at it. So they start with, your team was one that initially I thought would be an easy matchup. Greninja and Rillaboom and Comfey will hate to see Comfey coming, or just any fast fairy type, in addition to Shell Smash closer sets. Yeah, there's a reason I was so terrified to Specs Comfey. It takes out my 3 best Pokemon really easily, and starts sound probably my best cleaner in Smash Cloyster. Cobalion also gets great value as a Greninja in Cloyster Wall. I guess so. I thought that Cobalion would be better as like a Kyurem check, like Spidef AV, but now that I think about it, you know, Cloyster doesn't actually have that much for it either. And I guess Gren can't really beat it unless it's like SD low kick, so I guess that's fair. At an initial look, I felt like my team matched up well into yours, but on further examination it becomes incredibly rough to look at. Annihilate beats up Lando Intimidate and Pecharunt Parting Shot, and Pecharunt cannot take a Rage Fist cannot take 2 Rage Fists after Ape has taken 1 hit. Nothing on my team can Oko the Ape, making my team reliant on chipping it down, but there's no consistent way to chip it down without getting good value, which is where this monstrosity of Ferrothorn set came from, hoping to beat it in a 1v1, while also potentially winning the game afterwards. Please no taunt. Yeah, that makes sense. The Iron Press Ferro was definitely not what I expected, hence me spamming magic, well, not spamming, but I clicked magic code against it with Levani, and let it get up like 2 iron defenses, as I also got up my webs. I can see where the idea comes from, because like after an iron defense, you just lead seed it, and then you protect, and then you iron defense, and then you protect, and Ape can't break the Pharaoh, which makes sense. And I guess it's terrifying, so that, you know, like, I guess once Ape and God of War are down, terrifying Body Press kind of just bullies the rest of my team. I see the vision, but yeah, Taunt Bulk Up Ape would have destroyed it. In general, I think Taunt Bulk Up Ape would have been really good in this matchup generally, because, like, it does a lot of things that the Scarf Ape just didn't do. Like, it can actually, after it bulks up, it takes little enough damage from Mega Lopunny to be able to beat both it and Pecharunt without needing to switch out. It doesn't get as dented by Specs Comfey and other things, and it is also better at dealing with the Lando, because the Lando will probably switch and I can bulk up and get free stuff, yada yada yada. Anyway, but I brought Scarf, so it didn't matter. The other good news is that your team's speed tiers were extremely exploitable for Lopunny. I wouldn't really say exploitable, because yes, Lopunny outspeeds my entire team, but my entire team, apart from a few, is just really good at using a Scarf to be able to kill the Lopunny. Like, Scarf Greninja's a thing, Scarf Kyurem's a thing, Scarf Ape is a thing, I even brought that. Scarf Gardevoir is a very real thing, Scarf Rotom is a thing. I brought Scarf Cloyster once, and in week 1, and Scarf Shocks is also an idea. Other than that, you wouldn't really run Scarf in any of the others. Boots are coming for either Rotom and or Kyurem, and Scarf Greninja wouldn't have the kill power it needed to win. Yeah, I really did need the damage from Expert Belt on Garen. And I didn't bring Rotom at all. Rotom would have been decent. I didn't bring it though. And I just wanted raw damage with Kyurem, so I brought Specs. But the point is, it's not Scarf, right, is the idea. And Scarf Gardevoir is a consideration, but has great potential to just lose depending on its coverage. I don't know. Psychic is kind of just free into this team. Especially if I can, like... I don't know. If the Ferrothorn Terra is out of its Psychic and Moonblast resistance, then I just click those the whole game, and... You know, they can't really switch into just Scarf Psychic on Guardy. I just didn't bring it though, because I wanted Carmine to be able to be potential Comfey. Greninja is fast enough to force Jolly. Yeah. If the Mega Lopunny was adamant, I feel like it would have two-shot my entire team, except for Cloyster, even if it clicked the wrong move as they come in, because it just does way too much damage. Scarf Shocks will get worn down by Draining Kiss and Lopunny Fake Out, so I was less worried about it than potential damage boosting set. I guess so. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Shocks would have been very good here, actually. I just didn't want to bring it, because I did expect a sort of Spadef Pharaoh in order to beat it, and Gardevoir, and Greninja, and Kyurem, kind of. And I thought it would just be, like, too hard to make progress with it. Then again, because every time it would let in the Pharaoh, and Pharaoh could do whatever it wants, I guess. But in hindsight, it probably would have been pretty good, right? Because outside of Pharaoh, nothing really beats the Shocks. Anyway, at the end of prep, the biggest threats to my team were Annihilate, Rotom, Heat, Sandy Shocks, and Gardevoir. Everything else felt extremely manageable. Huh. I never really considered Rotom to be super good in this matchup. Because, like, Rotom would lose to this guy if it's Carmine. Rotom can't switch in on this guy. This guy can have a Terra type that beats Rotom. This guy beats Rotom. This guy can beat Rotom. And this guy can also beat Rotom, I guess. And Bolt absolutely destroys Rotom. I didn't think Rotom was great. Like, to me, it was just like a potential switch in to Comfey. Then again, I didn't consider Scarf, because I guess I could, like, you know, trick a Scarf onto Comfey. Anyway, in the initial prep, I became very worried about how I could reasonably set up a Comfey endgame. Prankster Encore from Klefki or Grafai would be troublesome, and Gardevoir could trace Triage using its great defensive profile to become a better Comfey. Yeah, that's a good point. Klefki doesn't actually have Encore, because it would... Well, it wouldn't be broken, but it doesn't have Encore. But yeah, the Grafai Prankster Encore point is true. Initially, I thought Encore wouldn't help me against Klefki, but then against the Comfey, because the Triage gives +3 priority, whereas Prankster gives +1. So it could, even if it Calm-Minded, it could Draining Kiss first. But if it's Calm-Mind, then it's going to be invested a lot more in bulk than in offense. And +1 Draining Kiss does so little anyway that it actually does work pretty well. And yeah, Triage Gardevoir does just become better Comfey. In fact, this is literally what I brought. I brought the Calm-Mind Draining Kiss Guardy. Just for that. The Comfey prep was then focused on those two angles and how to beat both. The answer came with Terra Dark Comfey, which could block Prankster shenanigans. It didn't worsen the Greninja or Kyurem matchups. Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but, like, again, my plan was always just Gunk Shot it, and if it Terras out of a weakness, then Gunk Shot it twice. Comfey outspeeds Gardevoir easily, so I would be able to taunt it before it clicks Encore, Taunt, Calm-Mind, or Imprison, while having Terra Dark to also functioning to block Psy Noise. Yeah, this is the thing I didn't think about. Comfey can learn Taunt. I had no idea that Comfey got Taunt. So my Gardevoir set, which was meant to beat a Calm-Mind Comfey by Calm-Minding alongside it, and then out-damaging and out-healing it with the stronger Draining Kiss, it doesn't work because I get taunted. That was how I was meant to beat Terra Dark. The other Terra types I was just going to beat with Psychic Noise, stopping it from Draining Kissing. But yeah, the Comfey set, honestly, it was pretty successful. If it got up more Calm Minds, it would have beaten my whole team. Like, I feel like if it was running something to hit, you know, Grafaiai, Klefki, or Rotom Heat, it would have done better instead of U-Turn. Because I feel like you're not really going to be bringing the Comfey in unless to revenge something with Draining Kiss or to end the game with Calm Mind, right? So I guess U-Turn can help if I'm trying to preserve something that you want to revenge with Draining Kiss, but I feel like if U-Turn was like stored power and it got in earlier and got up more Calm Minds, then it would have just probably beat my whole team. Comfey was very tough for me to deal with. Anyway, where am I up to? The Terra Dark worked double duty for Triage Gardevoir, working to activate Weakness Policy, letting me spend less time facing up, setting up in the face of a check, same value for a taunted Klefki. That makes sense, yeah. And I feel like since it had a bit of special attack, it would just be able to win after that, right? Because if I like switch in Gardevoir, Trace Triage as it Calm Minds again. As I go for Draining Kiss, I activate Weakness Policy. It's at +4 special attack. I do very little, and then it kind of just wins, hey? And if it had stored... Well, not against Grafaiai, but if it had stored power, it would also win against Grafaiai, which is worrying. Well, I guess it could win against Grafaiai. If Grafaiai misses a few gunk shots, I think it would need to miss like 2. Probably. After doing a round of mocks, I came to realize that both Rotom Heat and Sandy Shocks were massive issues for my team. The stuff I didn't bring. I still don't understand how Rotom is so good. I feel like it kind of just loses to a lot of the things. Anyway, Terra Sandy had no switch-ins for my team, Terra Ice letting it easily deal with Lando, while Rotom easily walled Comfey, being able to trick on Choice Scarf onto Comfey, ruining its boost sweep end games. I guess that makes sense. Maybe? Oh, it makes more sense, because, like, I thought Rotom would also lose to Comfey, because I was expecting Specs Comfey, which would just like chunk Rotom, and Rotom has like no recovery outside of Pain Split, and it was just, I was bringing really defensive ones, and they just weren't working. But I guess into a Calm Mind thing it would be better. That's true. Anyway, Rotom would be walled by Raging Bolt, but Gardevoir, Kyurem, Shocks, and Klefki, I expected 2 or 3 to come, would exploit it in turn. That's true. I mean, I can't really switch into Bolt. Like, if I get the move right, like, if I switch into a Draco with Guardy or a Thunderbolt with Shocks or Kyurem, then it's really good for me. But if I switch into the wrong move, then my Mon just loses half or more of its health, and then Bolt just leaves, right? I thought Bolt would come, but I guess this is a fair point, though. Like, it's a bit of a worry, but I don't know. I don't even know how I dealt with Bolt. I feel like... Yeah, I really don't know how I dealt with Raging Bolt in mocks. I can't remember. It was a while ago now. A while ago. It was like a week ago. It wasn't that long. Anyway, I really wanted to bring Cobalion as a Rock Setter and Anti-Shell Smasher with Taunt, as well as for assistance into Grafaiai, but it was too weak into Rotom Heat, Sandy Shocks, and the ground coverage guaranteed to be on Kyurem to deal with Pecharunt, especially on a physical set, while not dealing enough damage with Iron Head on Gardevoir. That's true. Defensive Cobalion does not do that much. My Guardy was EV to live an offensive Iron Head. Kyurem doesn't get physical ground coverage. But I guess if I run like mixed DD with random Earth Power, yeah, Earth Power was my only way to beat Cobalion. Really, with Kyurem. I didn't need Earth Power to kill Pecharunt. I could just Draco and it would have died. Just funny. Kyurem's a funny Pokemon, just low damage. Glaceon was a non-consideration and Shuckle Words would activate Defiant on Ape. See, I thought Glaceon would be pretty good into my team, just clicking Free Story. Although this is because instead of thinking about it in the matchup, I was more thinking about it with the team that I had built. Because I didn't bring either of my 2 Free Story resists, right? I left both Klefki and Rotom Heat on the bench. So I was thinking, oh, if Specs Free Story Glaceon comes, then it can just, like, I can't switch into it. Same reasoning as I can't switch into, like, any of the other offensive Pokemon on the team, because I don't have defensive Pokemon on the team I built. Anyway. And yeah, Shuckle Webs, I never thought Shuckle would come. If it did, it would be annoying to get rid of, and I feel like it would almost always get up rocks. But it didn't come, so I'm glad, because rocks are really annoying. At the end of the day, I felt like I only really had 7 options, and only 1 to 2 of them feeling like good options, so hopefully the rest of my prep worked well enough to win, or at least make the game close. Hopefully I don't get swept by Imprison, Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Mystical Fire, / Sphere, / Psychoc, / Psychic Noise, Gardevoir. Yeah, I was never going to bring Imprison Guardy to stop the Comfey. If I was bringing something with Imprison to stop Comfey, it would have been Klefki. But then, like, Klefki, I would need Calm Mind and I would need Draining Kiss for certain. And then I would either run Terra Blast or Stored Power. Probably Terra Blast, because I can stop it from Calm Minding to get up more Stored Powers. But Calm Mind Klefki was just so hard to use into everything else, because it took so much. Even Max Fizz Def, it took way too much damage and everything outsped it. So, yeah, that's why I only had Grafire for Comfey. What were the 7 options? Just not Glaceon and Shuckle? I guess so. I mean, I think the prep was pretty good. The Starmie would have been pretty terrifying if it got that Meteor Beam off and I didn't have webs up. I mean, yes, my ape was Scarfs, and it would have lived the Meteor Beam, so even if webs weren't up, I would have just killed the Starmie. But, like, look at my team and look at the amount of Pokemon I have to switch into Starmie. The answer is 0. I just... Yeah, that kind of destroys my team, eh? I feel like... I don't know, why is there so much speed on Petron? Is this to outspeed, probably to outrun max speed Gardevoir, I guess. That would make sense. The thing that I understand the least is the defensive Lando, because Edgequake into my team was genuinely just so free. Like, if that thing got up a rock polish, then I just kind of just lost. And Scarf was also so good into my team. I understand that Stealth Rock is really nice, right? Because my team just... I have so many Rocks weak mons and so many mons that want to switch out. I don't know. It's interesting is all. I was never expecting defensive Lando. I guess it all comes from, like, they're expecting things which were good into their team. I was expecting things which were good into my team, right? And the nature of draft. But if you looked at the matchup from an objective point of view, then I think both of us would have expected slightly different things, maybe. But since we, built our teams, that's why we were more scared of and expected other things. I don't actually know why I have this open. Anyway, so that's interesting. Just hearing about other people's thoughts. They were quite different to mine, because I really did not consider the Rotom Heat. The only thing I considered for was to answer Comfey. And I just felt that Klefki would be better at that, but Grafire is better than them both, so I just didn't bring it. So that's pretty cool. Again, thank you to my opponent Paprika for sending me these notes and their team. I really appreciate it, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.